In this section, we will explore St Andrew's Castle and Cathedral. You will learn a little about their history, as well as why they were so important. Around 1160, St Andrew's Cathedral started to be built, but it took over 150 years to finish it. When it was finally completed in 1318, it was Scotland's largest cathedral and most magnificent church. Unfortunately, not all of it remains today, and what does remain is mostly ruins, but it is still very impressive. One of the parts that can still be seen today is St Rule's Tower. Legend has it that St Rule was a monk in Greece, and he was the one who brought St Andrew's relics here in the 4th century. Can you imagine travelling all that way in the year 347? St Rule's Church was built here, and its 33-metre tall tower is thought to have been a sort of landmark used by pilgrims. These are the people who travel to a sacred place for religious reasons. Visitors can actually climb to the top of St Rule's Tower, but there are no lifts and they have to walk up 156 really narrow steps to get to the top. Underneath the cathedral, there is a museum, which has lots of really old artifacts, like a sculptured sarcophagus, which is one of the best preserved items from early medieval Europe. A sarcophagus is a type of stone coffin, and this one is thought to have been for a powerful Pictish king who died in the year 761. The carvings on the stone show a woodland hunting scene with a king attacking a lion. Archaeologists, the people who study human history and prehistory by excavating sites and analysing what they find, use artefacts like this to learn more about our past. The sarcophagus has helped us to understand more about the religious beliefs and politics of Pictish kings. The carving on the stone was similar in some ways to other artifacts that have been found in the Eastern Mediterranean, telling us about the international connections of the Picts. The condition of the stone when it was discovered tells us that it was probably kept in a building which was probably a church, and that it was purposely buried. Isn't it amazing how much we can learn from just one piece of carved stone? Just a little way along the coast is what remains of St Andrew's Castle, which was built around the year 1200. This is where some of Scotland's most important people would live. But it has also been a fortress and a prison. It has a 2-storey prison tower which was also used as a place for guests to stay. What a strange combination! The upper floor was only used to imprison nobles and important people. The ground floor was not quite as nice. It had a bottleneck dungeon where common prisoners would be thrown. It was less than 5 meters wide and had a circular opening at the top, but the shape of it, like a bottle, made it impossible for anyone to escape. Most of the castle was destroyed during the Wars of Independence. Do you remember when they took place? That's right, in the late 13th and early 14th century. Just like Edinburgh Castle, St Andrew's Castle was taken over by the English and reclaimed by the Scots many times. It was actually destroyed in 1337 and had to be completely rebuilt. In the 1400s and 1500s, this castle was quite magnificent, and would have had lots of important, even royal guests and extravagant banquets. However, in the 1540s, there was a lot of religious unrest in Scotland. In the early 1500s, Scottish people were Christian, but there were lots of people who were not happy about how the church used its power and wealth. This led to the Protestant Reformation. Actually, this wasn't only happening in Scotland. It was a movement that took place across the UK and many other countries too, but we will focus on Scotland for now. During the Reformation, a group of Protestants disguised themselves as workmen to enter the castle, and once they were inside, they killed the Archbishop, took the son of the Regent of Scotland as hostage, and refused to leave. This led to a siege, and the Regent of Scotland, that's like the Governor of Scotland, ordered a tunnel to be dug under the castle. He planned to get in by igniting gunpowder in the tunnel under the castle walls, which would bring them down. News of this got to the Protestants inside the castle, who started digging their own tunnel to try to intercept the one coming in. It took them 3 times, but they finally managed to stop the attack. The siege lasted 18 months and the tunnels were filled in after that, so they couldn't be used again. They were only rediscovered in 1879, when the foundations for a new house were being laid.